Let's chat now with DallasCowboys.com. Isaiah Stanback, who was on the broadcast on Saturday for the Cowboys and the Jacksonville Jaguars. How's it going today, Isaiah?
All is well. How you fellas doing?
Well, I'd be better if McCarthy was on time. Did he say what the story was with him being like an hour late?
I got nothing for you.
Okay. All right. It was worth a shot.
Yeah, I like that.
We were just kicking this around, and Corey is going to be furious. Is The Athletic put out a story, top 25 players, 25 and under. He said Micah should be number one in the NFL. If I told you Micah is not number one, is there another player that immediately jumps to mind?
That's under 25.
25 and under.
And under. Okay, I'm not sure how old Patrick Mahomes is right now. How old is he?
He's too old.
27, 28, yeah.
Okay, all right. So then yeah, if that's the case, then I don't see who else you can put in front of Micah.
I got one option.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
So
right.
he came to my mind. But Justin Jefferson is not single-handedly going to tear a whole game down. Like you can slow him down. You can slow him down. There's no real way to slow down Micah, especially in the way in which Dan Quinn's going to be utilizing him this year. So from that perspective, I'm going to have to put Micah just above Justin Jefferson. They're both equally as dangerous, but in terms of one man being a one-man wrecking crew, you have to change your entire offensive strategy for Micah Parsons.
I like that insight. Justin Jefferson, per these Nimrods in the NFL, I'm with you. I support your point. Is Justin Jefferson, Micah Parsons. Parsons ahead of Nick Bosa, who is third, and then Patrick Surtain and Jamar Chase rounding out the top five.
Sounds like a decent group there.
Yeah,
Sounds
by the way, Trayvon Diggs, number 24 on that list.
There's some talented NFL players
CeeDee Lamb
out there.
is number 14.
Look at that.
So that's pretty cool right there. Is league executives and scouts and coaches said the Cowboys have 3 of the top 25 young players in the league. That feels like an excellent thing.
The scouting department is doing their job.
There you go.
Now, Isaiah, I was wondering something about Saturday. Was that a pin you were wearing on your lapel, or was that stitched into the suit?
It's definitely a pin.
Okay, all right. I was looking. I was like, man, I can't really tell.
The checks haven't got that big yet. They haven't got that big. If they get a little larger, then we can start stitching them into the suits. But right now, it's a pin.
Who do you think was the best dressed out of your crew? Was it you, Bill Jones, Kyle, or Haley?
Oh, man, I'm about to give it to the lady, Haley. Yeah, she held it down. She did a good job over there on the sideline, man. She gave her some good footage, and she looked amazing. So she gets the nod. She
was a self-proclaimed fashionista, Kevin, while we were out there in Oxnard.
Can you be self-proclaimed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We self-proclaimed ourselves radio hosts.
That's a good point. Isaiah, what would you self-proclaim yourself?
Uh-huh.
I would self-proclaim myself as a formerly fast human being. Let's go with that. Let's go past tense fast human being.
I like that.
Now I can run, but fast, different thing. Different thing than formerly.
But if you know no one's going to challenge you on it, you can still just proclaim yourself a fast human being and say you choose not to run.
That's true. That's true. I guess you're not wrong in that fact.
But Reggie will challenge anybody to a foot race. We've seen it. I saw it happen. He challenged all my kids at my party and everything. I've seen it before. So you can't just throw it around willy-nilly. All right, let's focus on the game, Kevin.
Okay.
That's the important thing.
Okay, I have a question that I'm sorry, it's probably going to sound negative. I know all NFL teams probably deal with this, but should there be concern about depth with the Cowboys' offensive line?
If you were asking me, I would say at that guard position, I am not confident. I'll say that. I'm not confident in the current state of the Cowboys' offensive line without their leader on the interior offensive line. So currently, yes, I would say there's some concern there. I think they have a plethora of guys that they can rotate through in terms of playing tackle. They have a lot of moving pieces there between Tyron and, Tyler and Terrence Steele. I mean, they have some guys that can move around at the tackle position. But that guard position, there's a gaping hole there right now. And I think that you could pencil some guys in there, but nothing's going to be as as solid as that permanent marker that they call Zach Martin.
I want to use the word that you just used. Are you confident that that will get figured out one way or another by the start of the regular season?
Ooh, by the start, I would like to say yes. I would like to say yes, because I believe that as these preseason games show themselves, I think that hole is going to become more apparent. Obviously, we like to believe that the offensive line is going to continue to get better and play more cohesively than they did in the first game. But again, you have to always go back, and sometimes the film has to show it. Sometimes the film has to show the decision makers and organization that, hey, I hear you and I understand your stance, but let's be realistic about the fact that nobody is going to provide the sense of security that he does for our entire offense, not just an aspect of our offense, but for our entire offense. I think that they need that. I think for Coach McCarthy trying to instill this new system and for them to hit the ground running without any hiccups or any kind of resistance to that, I think they need all their pieces in place. And for them to have done everything that they've done defensively to solidify that side of the ball, I think you would be missing the mark to not have that piece in play.
Agree. I can completely concur with that one for sure. And then with the wide receivers that you were watching on Saturday, the fourth guy, we're kind of trying to figure out who's in that spot. And I wonder if any of them separated themselves during what's that?
Jalen Tolbert.
Did they separate themselves, or is it still that's a murky pack right there? But it's a really good pack to have.
I think it's a pretty competitive pack. I think Jalen Tolbert definitely is getting the nod right now, coming off the offseason that he's had, going into training camp, having training camp that he's had relatively consistent, and then obviously showing up in the first preseason game. So every opportunity that he's being given right now, he's starting to look more and more like the guy that they drafted, right, and that they anticipated him to become. So he looks like he's making that second-year leap, and I think that if he continues on this path and this trajectory, then he will definitely be the number 4 guy.
Okay, and what is the real difference? Is it just knowledge of the game from last year to this year? Is it just knowledge? Is it body type? What's the real biggest difference you've seen from him?
Yeah, I can't put my finger on exactly what his, what the light bulb moment was for him. Sometimes guys just need a year, whether it comes from the perspective of, that long year as a rookie, right, coming off of college, straight into training for the combine, straight into the draft, straight into, OTAs, training camp, regular season, trying to just get your mind wrapped around the entire aspect of being a professional athlete, whether it's the physical, stance in terms of preparing your body and making sure that you're ready for this speed and the physicality of the game. I'm not sure what it was for him, but I can say that he's come back physically stronger. He's come back seemingly in more shape. He's come back with a bolt of confidence. He's catching the ball with his hands. He's plucking it out of the air. His routes are precise. He's coming out of his, the top of the stem. So everything in terms of his game, he's playing with so much more confidence, and you're starting to see more of why they drafted him versus a question mark that you had last year as to what are we doing here. So I think he's debunking a lot of people's negative connotations that they had regarding him last year, and he's going to continue to earn people's trust.
If I say that Deuce Vaughn is a lock to make the roster now, is that a complete overreaction?
No, I don't think it's an overreaction. I think that you have to look at it from the perspective of what value does he provide to us offensively, but also what is he going to do for us on special teams. And I think that you saw enough, I don't want to say enough, but you saw a good amount of value out of him in that first preseason game to, again, debunk a lot of the myths that are regarding size in this league. And people are going to, he's not going to say anything verbally, but people need to put some respect on his name. He didn't wake up and choose to be the size he is, but he did wake up and choose to have, arguably the best college, career in terms of running backs in college football last year. You look at him and Bijan Robinson. I mean, nobody's talking about, why Bijan's not, why he's the size he is, but yet their stats are almost equal. So he proved to everybody, hey, I belong here. He's a heck of a back, man. There's certain things that he can't change. So if you take away all the aspects of the game that he can't change, then look at what he can do. He's knocking it out of the park in every other aspect. And he's a very valuable player, and he's going to continue to show that in the preseason. I think he had a great day one.
It doesn't hurt also that his name rhymes with moose, and everybody knows. They already know the moose chants, and you can just chant Deuce easy, right?
Yeah, no, he had a good game, man. He had a really good game.
And the fans get amped up every time it looks like the ball is going to come to him. I'm not going to say that's how you should decide, but it probably doesn't hurt with this franchise.
Not at all, man. I mean, marketability is a lot, obviously, with this organization, but, you know, he deserves it. To the date, as of right now, he deserves everything positive that's coming his way, and I think as he gets more comfortable with the game, he's just going to continue to show up even more in these next few preseason games.
All right, let's go to Mazi, and there's a lot of, like, you look at the internet right now, Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it, and it's there's half the things say positive things, half the things say negative things. What was your assessment of what you saw from Mazi during this game?
I'm about to go back and watch a little bit more film, but from my vantage point, I think he definitely took up some offensive alignment, and that's what you're looking for him to do. You're trying to make sure that he draws attention. Draw attention, meaning demand a double team and not get moved backwards. If he can do those two things, then you free up the rest of your D linemen that are then going to have one-on-one matchups, right? And now you're looking at a straight 4-on-4, a 3-on-3 situation if he's demanding a double team, and you're allowing your linebackers to roam free because offensive linemen can't work up. So that's when you start seeing, D. Clark show up. That's when you start seeing Van Der Esch show up. And you look behind those guys, and, you got the Marquise Bells that's walking down, and, DeMarvion Overshown, who was able to show up in a big way this past weekend. So if he clogs up two, most of the other defensive linemen on this team are going to win their one-on-one matchups. And that gives your defense one heck of an advantage every play.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad you brought up Overshown because, Kevin, I was kind of like, look, his size kind of concerns me because I don't know exactly how he fits. I said, but I will trust Dan Quinn that he has a tool created for him. And it looked like Dan Quinn is like, yeah, this is my Swiss Army knife. He can do everything.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's another variation of Jaron Kearse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you really look at it, he's not 6'4". I mean, I guess he is right. He's 6'3", 6'4"-ish. But I mean, they're right there around the same size. So where does Jaron Kearse usually play at? Well, he's playing near the line of scrimmage around the second level. So they're really the same type of player. You can give him whatever position name you want to, strong safety, outside linebacker. I don't care what you want to title it. They're the same style of player. He's going to fly around in that same light. I mean, he is a hitter. That's what he does. He's a high energy, see ball, hit ball type of guy that could play sideline to sideline. He's not going to get outflanked by a lot of guys. It doesn't matter if you're a running back. It doesn't matter if you're a tight end. He's going to be Johnny on the spot. And I think that he's going to provide a lot of versatility for this defense. And Dan Quinn loves versatility.
6 tackles and 37 snaps is pretty impressive, especially starting off. By the way, what about the, roster prospects or practice squad prospects, however you view it, of Wanye Thomas?
Yeah. Wanye, obviously, from the first snap, man. I mean, can he play at this level? Well, he
looks like it.
One of the best quarterbacks probably that's going to show up in this game. So Trevor Lawrence figured out real quick, don't test him. I mean, what can you say enough about him? Defense, they love him. He's been getting a lot of first-team reps, especially with Donovan Wilson having been out a majority of training camp. When you talk to Bones Fossil, I mean, that's one guy. That's one of the first names that comes up in terms of guys that he's depending on to fill the vacant role of Noah Brown and Luke Gifford, some of his core special teamers that have left. So, and then he just shows up, right? He immediately, as soon as the game starts, first name that you have to say is what? Wanye Thomas. I mean, that's not a bad deal. So he showed up in a big way. As long as he can continue to show that consistency, I think he's going to be one of the core members of the special team and one of the valued members on the defensive side as well.
Man, Isaiah, as is always the case, love having you on with all that info, good sir.
I appreciate you guys having me, man.